Imagine an endless night. The cold cuts to the bone. Outside, predator eyes gleam in the darkness. A group of hominids huddles inside a cave, trying to protect themselves with only animal skins. They shiver, they keep watch, they survive. But then, something unexpected happens. Lightning strikes a tree. The wood begins to burn, and before them appears something that would change humanity forever. Today, you'll discover what life was like before fire and how that flame transformed our species. Before fire, life was harsh. Food came raw. Fruits, roots, insects, and chunks of meat torn from slaughtered animals. To chew, they needed strong jaws and powerful muscles. The entire body was adapted to survive on that primitive diet. Larger stomachs, longer intestines. But the greatest threat came when the sun disappeared. In the darkness, they were just another prey. Lions, hyenas, and leopards hunted during the night. No light, no warmth, no defense. The cold was constant. Fear was an inseparable companion. Surviving meant enduring, day after day with no guarantees for tomorrow. It was then that nature offered the first spark. A storm, lightning, a tree in flames. The group is startled. At first, everyone backs away. But some approach. That strange phenomenon wasn't an animal. It had no fangs, and yet it inspired respect. It was warm, it glowed, it flickered, as if it had a life of its own. Initially, they didn't know how to create fire. They depended on the remains of natural fires. They took embers and carried them in hollow branches or hot stones, trying to keep the flame alive as long as possible. Mastery would come much later. First, they learned to protect fire, then to transport it. Only thousands of years later would someone finally manage to create sparks and ignite their own flame. The transformation began with food. The first roasted meat, the first cooked vegetable. Heat softened food, released more nutrients, and made everything easier to chew. Gradually, the body changed. Smaller jaws, shorter intestines, and larger brains. Fire fed not only the stomach, but also the mind. At night, fire became the center of social life. Around the flames, groups gathered, shared food, told stories, formed bonds. And most importantly, they were safe. Predators no longer approached so easily. Fire transformed the fear of night into fellowship and planning. Mastering fire was a watershed moment. With it, hominids began to craft more advanced tools, hunt in a more organized way, and face previously impossible climates. It was fire that allowed humans to leave Africa and conquer the world. Maintaining the flame required discipline, cooperation, intelligence. The simple act of feeding the fire became training for complex cognitive skills. There, at the first campfires, the first communities were born. Division of tasks, teachings passed from generation to generation, traditions that would shape entire cultures. From the first ember to today's illuminated cities, fire was much more than a discovery. It made us human. Without it, perhaps we would still be trapped in darkness as vulnerable prey of the night. But with it, we built civilizations. And this was just the first revolution. If you enjoyed this journey to the past, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. And there are videos here on the screen for you to continue this journey through time. Until next time.